Hello and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle for Monday, 4th of January 2021. So it's a new year, first day back at work for some of you, those of you who are still employed, those of you who have been made unemployed by coronavirus. Try not to worry too much, maybe something will come along later. Let's be zen about this. Let's try to put all of those troubles out of our minds while we focus on our Sudoku puzzle. And today's puzzle is at the easy level. So that means beginners can try it. Anyone can try it. In fact, this is my second go. Usually when I do these puzzles, I just have one attempt. But unfortunately the video messed up. So I did complete it once before, and I'm doing it again now, and I can tell you that it is an easy level puzzle, but you do have to fill in candidates. So if you're an absolute beginner and not sure what candidates means, then you're going to find out during this video. So maybe it's quite lucky that I failed to record properly on my first attempt. So okay, since this is an easy level, we may have beginners and less experienced people joining us today. I'm going to quickly go through the rules and explain what happens for Sudoku, just in case you're really new. So as you can see, here we have a grid, and on this grid there are dark lines which divide the regions, 9 different regions, okay? And then there are small boxes that contain numbers. So the simple rules of the game are each box, let's say a region rather, must contain the numbers 1 to 9 only one time. So 1, 2, and some missing, 5, 7, 8. So we can see there are 4 missing numbers here. Each column, we'll call these columns, must contain the numbers 1 to 9. You can see there are a lot of numbers in it here already. And each row must contain the numbers 1 to 9. And again, this is once only. You're not allowed to have the number more than one time in a column, a row, or a region. And that's the simple rules. And the beauty of this is it's entirely logic-based, nothing to do with maths at all. Some beginners are a bit worried it's math-based. It's really not. It's just a puzzle of logic. And so I'll explain as we go through it what you need to do, and hopefully you'll be able to follow along because this is nice and easy. So first of all, when we look at this, we are wondering, where's the right place to begin? Where should I begin? As the song begins, although my singing is of course awful. Now clearly there are not many numbers missing here, not many numbers here, not many missing here. So this central region, let's say, is probably the best place to begin. And in fact, I think that this central region here is probably the right way to begin. In fact, I know it is because I began that way last time and it turned out to be very nice. So we'll do it again. So what do we do? Now we can see we need to fill in all of the numbers. We have 2, 6, 3, and 9. So there are lots of the other numbers are missing. So let's begin by looking at number 1. So first of all, we can see that number 1 goes across this row here. So it means that there can't be a number 1 in this square. And number 1 goes along this row here. That means we can't have a number 1 in this square. So these 2 squares are definitely eliminated. Okay. Then if we consider the columns and we look down, we see this 1, we follow it down, and we know that it can't go here. So it's not here, and it's also not here. So it's eliminated here. And if we follow this 1 up, we can see that this eliminates this square as well. So there is no 1s allowed here. Excuse me, no 1s allowed here, no 1s here. So there's only one location the number 1 can go. It's going to go here. 2, 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. Let's count through the series. And so the next number missing is 4. Now we can see there's a 4 in this column here, And if we extend it up, we know that there's no 4 allowed here or here. But these two squares are available for 4, so we don't know for sure if it comes here or it comes here. We only know that it comes in one of these two squares. So we're going to leave that for the moment and try to look at one that we do know for sure. Okay, here we have 5. That's the next number. We can see 5 going up this column here and 5 coming down this central column here. So we know that it can't appear here or here or here. So that only leaves this square available, right? We follow this up, we follow this down. There's only one square where the 5 is available. 5 has to come in this square here, like so. And now if you remember, we looked at 4 a moment ago and we knew that 4 is eliminated from these two squares. That means there's only this one, and this one now contains 5. So we know that we can put the 4 in here. I hope you're getting the hang of this. It's really a process of elimination. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next missing number is 7. And we have a 9 already. So 7 and 8 are the missing numbers. Okay, 7 and 8. And if we look across, we can see 7 blocks us from putting a 7 in here. So 7 must come here. And the final remaining number is 8, which has to go here. So 7, 8. And we've completed our first region, which is this central region like this. So at this point, where should we go next? Well, now that we've completed a region, what we can see is that there are only 2 squares missing from this column. And so that might be the next place to look, because if there are only 2 missing, that might make it easier to find. I mean, it's not always the case, but it's quite often the case, and so it's certainly something we should try. So let's see what's missing. We've got 1, 2, 3 we don't have, 4, 5, 6, 7 we don't have, 8, 9. So 3 and 7 are the missing numbers. So here and here have to be 3 and 7. Now, hopefully you've noticed that there is a 7 here in this region. And so since we can't have more than one 7, we know that 7 can't be in this square here. It's going to have to be 3, our other missing number. Okay, and now we know that there was only 3 and 7 missing, so 7 has to fit here. Hope you're getting the hang of this. Okay, so let's have a look either this square or this square. It doesn't really matter which, I think. Let's try this. So we've got 1. We don't have 2 in this region. Let's see. Here we can see a 2, which comes down and blocks this square here. So we know that 2 has to appear here or here, but we can't tell which. There's nothing else to indicate where it goes. So it's either here or here. Here or here. So we'll leave that for the moment. Next number missing is 3. We can see a 3 up in this column here, which would mean it can't appear here or here. So there's only one remaining square. So we can tell that 3 has to fit here. Okay. So what's missing? 2, and the other number missing here is 9. 1, 2 is missing, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So a 2 and a 9. We can't tell which is which here, but we're going to write in 2 and 9 because we know that those are the only 2 numbers that can fit there, and that might help us later. In fact, that will help us right now, because if we consider this column here, and we know that we have a 1, and 2 has to go here or here, 3, 4 we don't have a 4 anywhere, 5 we have, 6, 7, 8, and 9 has to be one of these, so it has to be 4, and we can check that as well here, because if you notice, 4 goes up in this column, and that's the only space available. So there are 2 ways of getting this number 4. And that's often the case in Sudoku. You often find there's more than one way of getting a number. All right, let's look here and see what's missing now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't have 6, 7, 8. We don't have 9. So 6 and 9 are the missing numbers. We can't tell which is which here. So we're going to fill in 6 and 9 here as our candidates. We call these numbers candidates. That means it's a possible number that can fit there. So we have two possible candidates, 6 and 9. If you're new to Sudoku, you have to understand this concept. It's going to help you when you get past the really easy ones. And this is not a really beginners, really easy beginners Sudoku. You have to have a little bit of skill, I think, or just be, extend your understanding a little. Okay, so we've got all of this now, and so then we wonder, where are we going to go next? Well, there are a few numbers here and a few numbers here. There's only one here and one here. These don't look like very productive areas to begin. So maybe instead of just focusing on a single region, which is something you do sometimes but not all the time, maybe it's a good idea to start considering the whole of this section here as one. That's often a good idea. So let's go through the numbers. 1 is complete already. We have a 1 here and a 1 here and a 1 here, so there's nothing to think about. 2, we have 2 going across here, and we have 2 going across here, like so. Okay, so we know there are only 2 locations for 2. Now, some people will fill that in right now, those candidates, those 2s, but I'm going to just wait a little while, because what I like to do is try to find all of the easy numbers first and then fill in the candidates later, just because it makes fewer numbers to fill in. Sometimes some people start out by writing in every candidate, and I think it gets really difficult to see. Personally, that's my own take on it. So I'm just going to leave it for the moment. Next number is 3. If 3 comes across here, 3 down, 3 across here, there are 3 possible locations here. That's not helpful. 3 across here, 3 here, no, there. That's not very useful. 4. 4 goes across here like so. 4 goes up here. 4 has to be here or here. Well, actually, it doesn't help me in this particular region, but I did notice something else, just because it caught my eye, that because the 4 goes up here and 4 blocks from this row, we know that 4 must come here or here, and that means that in this top region here, there's no 4s up here, there's no 4s up here, and we already have a 4 going across. So we can in fact understand that the 4 must come here. That's the only possible location. There's no 4s going up here, no 4s going up here, not allowed here. So it didn't help me here, but it did let me see something. Anything on this side, 4s going across? No, not really. They could come here or here or here, so we don't know. 5s, if 5 comes across, anything useful? Not really. 6, okay, 6 is a bit more fruitful, I think. There's a 6 on this row here, so that eliminates these 2 squares. Do you see? There's a 6 on this row, bottom row here for this section, and that eliminates those. So follow along, no 6s, no 6s, and then follow up this column, and no 6s here. So not here, not here, that would leave that and that. No 6 here. This is the only available position for 6. Okay, sometimes when you fill in a number, it's just a good idea to check around and see if it helps. It doesn't really help much, so we'll just continue along. 7. 7s go along here, 7s go along here, 7s come down here. There are 2 possible locations. Doesn't help too much. 8s go up here, 8s are in here. That doesn't help us that much either, because we don't really know. 9s, 9s go along here in this row, but 9 is also in this column here. So you should notice there's a kind of a upside down L here, which is blocked. So this is the only possible location for 9. All right, now, is there anything else? Okay, so now that we've filled in a couple of numbers, it's sometimes a good idea to go back over. There's the 2s are up here, I know. 3s are going to be down here. 4s are here. 5s are here. 6 and okay. All right, let's try this side. Is there anything useful on this side? I don't think so. 1, 2, 3, 4s, we don't know. 5s. Yeah, 5. So if we look down this column here and we look up this column here, we see 5s. So 5s down here, 5s down here are blocked. So there's only 2 possible locations in columns. In terms of the column, it has to be in this column. It can't be here. Obviously there's a 2 here already. So 5 can fit here. And now that we've done that, that's helped us because we now know that 5 going across back to this left-hand side, region on the left-hand side, we know that 5 can't be in the top row, 5 can't be in the bottom row. That one has to be 5. And let's keep in that cell, in that region, because this 3 comes right across here, and we know that there's a 3 missing from this region, and so that has to be 3. And so if we try to complete this section here, we can see what's missing. 2 and 4. 1, 3, so we don't have 2, and we don't have 4, but we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 2 and 4. We can see that 4 in this column blocks there being a 4 here. So that's a 4, and we know that that has to be a 2. Hope you're getting the idea now. That leaves us with just 1 missing number in this row, so that's the next easiest one to find. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can't see an 8, we do have a 9. So the missing number here must be 8. And we can double check if you like. 8, 8, 8. Go down like this. Okay. And we know that there are 2 missing numbers here and 2 here. So again, we can fill in what we call these candidates. Okay, so we can see 1, 2, 3. We don't have a 4, 5, 6. We don't have a 7. So this is a 4 and a 7. We can't tell which is which. So we'll put 4, 7, 4, 7, like so. And 1, 2, 3 is missing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 3 and 9 are the other missing candidates here. We can't tell which is which, so we'll put in 3, 9, and 3, 9, and come back and look at them later. So it seems now we've done this central region. Where would be the next most fruitful place to go? Well, I think not here, because we only have 1 number. Probably not here, we only have 2 numbers. So maybe let's look down at either the top right or the bottom left. It's much of a muchness, I think. So let's look down here and go through the numbers. 1 comes down this column here, but then there's 3 possible numbers here missing, so it doesn't help much. 2 is down here like this, but there's a lot of available positions. 3, well, 3 comes down here and 3 comes down here, so that means 3 is either here or here, but again we can't tell which exactly. 4 we have. 5 is down here and across here. Oh, wait a minute, we have a 5 on this row here and a 5 on this row here, so in fact that's the only location for 5. In fact, that one's been there from the beginning, and so actually I could have filled that in as a very easy one right from the very beginning, but quite often in Sudoku you miss things that look easy. You know, on second glance they look very easy. Probably you're at home screaming at the screen, shouting, hey, can't you see that missing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. That's often the way it goes. But don't beat yourself up about it. Be zen-like about it. This is Sudoku. No need to panic. Since we filled in that 5, let's consider if that affects anything. If we take that up the top here, and we take this 5 that we've already filled in up the top, we know that only this column is available in this region. And if we look across the rows, we can see 5 here, 5 here. So that is the only possible location to fill in a 5. Okay, back down here, look again at 1. Has that affected anything? 1, 2, no, 3, no, 4 is there, 5, 6. Next number is 7. 7 goes across here, 7 goes down. So we know that 7 is here or here, but we can't tell exactly. 8 comes down here in this column, and 8 comes across this row here. So that's definitely leaving only one square. You see, 8 is eliminated here and here. So 8 must go here. 9 we have already. Okay, is that going to help us? Let's come back again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we have quite a few filled in here. Maybe we'll come across and look at this side here, see if that helps. 1, we have a 1 across this row, 1 down here, so there are still quite a few squares with 1. 2, 2's come down here. 2 can be here or here, so we don't know. 3's come down here, don't know for now, across. 4's are across here like so. 5's done already. 6, there are 2 possible locations. 7, 2 possible locations for 8. And 9, several possible locations for 9. So actually we could actually fill in some candidates here, but there aren't any very easy ones. So let's just sit back and look again at the Sudoku grid, because one mistake that beginners often make is to focus very heavily on one area for a long time. And when that happens, you tend to get stuck, and it's really not very useful or fruitful in the long run. So what you need to do sometimes is move your eye to a different location, sit back and look again. I think that I'm going to look at these columns because they have quite a lot of numbers in them already, and maybe there's something we can do to finish. So let's see. We have 1, we don't have 2, we do have 3, 4, 5, 6, we don't have 7, and we don't have 9. So missing numbers are 2, 7 and 9. 2, 7 and 9. Okay, 2, 7 and 9. 2, 7 and 9 in these 3 squares. Now if we look across this bottom square, we can see 7 and 9 already here. So if we know that these 3 must contain 2, 7 and 9, and 7, 9 is in this row at the bottom, that one has to be 2 because it can't be 9 or 7. So that's got to be a 2. So we can fill that in there. Now that we've done our 2 here, we can extend that 2 up, and this 2 goes up. So this column is out, this column is out. This row is blocked by this 2 here, this row is blocked by this 2 here, and so 2 we can fill in as a certain number right here. We had these other 2 missing now were 7 and 9. Is there anything that tells us about 7 and 9? No, not really. Okay. Right. In this column here, what's missing? We have 1 is missing. 2, we have 3 is missing. And 6 is missing. 1, 3, and 6 is missing. Now actually, we have 1 and 3 together, so very similar to what we just did here, 1 and 3 in the same row. That's going to have to be 6. Now we know that these 2 are 1 and 3. A moment ago we said 1, 3, 6. We have 3 and 6. You can see there's a 3 in this region, and also there's a 3 here. So you should doubly, as I said, there's often more than one way to see how to eliminate. There can't possibly be a 3 here, so there has to be a 3 here, and that leaves 1 as our missing number from this column. Now also, back here there are only 2 missing squares, and 1 is one of the missing numbers, and we can see that if we extend that column down, 1 goes in here. The other missing number is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is missing, so 7 goes here, like so. And now in this column here, there's only 1 missing number, so we must be able to find it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is the missing number. And that helps us because over here, we already had a pair of candidates, 6 and 9, and we know now that it can't possibly be 9 because 9 is in this row. So 9 must be here, and this is going to have to be 6. There are 2 numbers left to get in this region. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't have 7, we don't have 8, we do have 9. So 7 and 8 are missing. 7 is clearly in this row, so clearly not in that bottom right hand corner. 7, 8 goes here. And there's 1 number missing from the end of this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't have an 8. It's an 8. Okay. If we look down, since we've just filled in this number, as I said, when you fill in a number, it's a good idea to look around and see if it helps you any. 8s and 8s I can see. So 8s down this column here. 8s down this column here. We have an 8 across this row here. We have an 8 across this row here. So not here, not here, not here, and not here. Right in that central square has to be an 8. Okay, so where to go next? Well, this has slightly more numbers than this, so I think let's just have a look in the top box here, see if we can do anything. 1s are here or here. 2, 3s, 4s are somewhere along the bottom. 5's done already. 6 is going to be here or here. 7s, 8s, and 9s going to be along the top. Okay. All right. So actually, we can just use these numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 8. We don't have 7 or 9. So we know that these 2 numbers have to be 7 or 9, but we can't tell which is which. So we're going to fill in this pair of candidates, 7 and 9. Along the bottom here, we have 1 is missing, 4 is missing, and 6. So 1, 4, 6. Right? So if we consider 1, we can see that 1 can't go here or here. So we're going to fill it in like this. 4 is missing. 4 can go anywhere. Now I'm going to write this in the bottom right hand corner because it's not a pair of numbers. There are 3 possible locations. Now this is my own Sudoku technique. This is not mentioned anywhere else. This is just my own little system that I find helpful. If it's only a pair of numbers, I put the numbers in the top left of the square. If it's more than 2 possible locations, I put it down in the bottom right, and that helps me later on. 6 is the other missing number from this row here, and we see that 6 can't go here or here. 6 is a pair, it can go here or here. And so hopefully you'll see that there is only 4 left here because 1 or 6 can't go here, and so 4 is the missing number. Now importantly, because we wrote in 4 as potential candidates here and here, we have to remove them now. Don't forget to do that, otherwise it's going to get very confusing later on. So this is complete, this is complete, so we only have 1 region to look at now. So let's get started. And in fact, I'll show you about filling in all of the candidates this time. Let's do it in that way. So we have 1 going across, 1 going across, 1 down here. So we can see 1 and 1 are possible candidates here. 2, okay, 2 goes across like so and down like so, across and down. So we can see there are 3 possible locations. That's here, here, and here. This may not be the easiest way to do it. There may be some easy ones to look for, but I just want to show you about filling in all of the candidates. Threes run across this row, threes run across this row, and 3 runs down the center. So it's only this one and this one. That's a pair of numbers. So I'll put in threes like so. Fours run across this row, and there's a 4 down here, so 4 has to go here or here, like this. 5 we've got already. 6 is blocked here. There are only 2 locations for 6, here or here. 7 is across this row, right from the end here. 7 is across the bottom row, so there are 2 possible locations for 7. That's a pair, so I'm going to put them in the top left. 8's done already. 9 runs across this row, bottom row here, and that's it. It could be anywhere else, so we're going to put 9s in here like so. 9, 9, 9. Okay, and we finished filling in the candidates. Now fortunately for us, we can see that this 3 is the sole candidate for this square, so we know that's it because nothing else is possible, so we can fill in that number. Remember to remove the candidate here, and in fact when you look up this column we can see there was a pair of candidates here, a 3 or a 9, so we can remove that 3, which leaves us with a 9 here. And if we look for the other one in the pair, 3 has to be here. Makes sense in logic, doesn't it? Okay, so now how are we doing? Alright, now I can see that up here we had a 9. Our 9 also affected this pair here. Now that we filled in this 9, this was 7 and 9. It can't be the 9, can it? So that has to be 7, and we know that this was a pair, so we know that that has to be 9. There is only one missing number down here now, which is 2, because we have all the others. 1, 2 is here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 2. But pay attention, because this had a 7 in the top left, and that meant it was part of a pair. So we know that we can fill in the other 7 here, like so. If we extend that column up like this, we know that there can't be a 7 here. That has to be a 7. That has to be a 4. You see how the candidates really help you, and you really need to fill in candidates when you get onto the more advanced stuff. If you follow this 4 down, like so, you can see that there's no 4 here. That has to be 4. That has to be 1. And if we extend this up, that was a 1 or a 6. It can't be 1. That 1 has to appear here. The 6 has to appear here. The 6 coming down. 6 can't be here. There's only one number missing from this region now, which is 9. And so if we go across, we can see there's no 9 here. That's 9, and that's 2. Do you see how it gets very fast at the end? Sudoku is usually like that. Sometimes there's a long, sometimes it begins very easily, and there's you fill in a lot of easy numbers. Then you get stuck in the middle for a long time, and then you find one number, and that number helps you complete everything very quickly. And so that's our easy Sudoku puzzle for today. If you're wondering what's happening in the news, if you're looking back at a future point in time, Donald Trump was yesterday on a telephone call with, I don't know, a Georgia election official trying to desperately plead for an exact number of votes. I forget, 11,000 and I don't know, 862 or something crazy like that. And seems quite on shaky legal ground to be doing such things. But I doubt whether the Democrats will do very much in the US. And so life carries on until we get rid of him from the world stage. Hopefully that won't be much longer. Apart from that, enjoy life. Remember, you only have one. Live it the best you can. Enjoy Sudoku. It's not a waste of time. It really helps with your logic solving. Thank you very much. Goodbye for today. Come back and, since this is an easy level puzzle, don't forget when you've practiced a few, come back and try the more difficult level, medium and hard level, and even the impossible level ones that we'll try sometimes. Thank you very much. Bye.